It's Slate Night, the Film Fan Podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Corey and Mason.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Slate Night, the Film Fan Podcast. If there was ever going to be a filler episode of Slate Night, this is the episode. Not to say that we don't have a lot to talk about. We have some things that we get to talk about movie-related, but it's going to be kind of a quicker episode, hopefully. I'm saying that at the start of the episode, knowing that this is going to turn into like somehow our longest 3.5 hour long rant fest. But regardless, we're drinking water today. Corey, you just came back from a weekend-long bender from North Carolina watching March Madness with your cousins. How are you doing?
I'm feeling weird.
The sigh.
It was the most exhausting weekend of doing absolutely nothing. Started off my flight on Thursday morning at like 7 a.m. Dude sits down next to me. He's like, "What do you drink?" I'm like, beer, whiskey, whatever. And he's like, "I got first round, you got second." I'm like, "Yeah."
Best friend.
Couple whiskeys, a beer. One of the best flights I've ever had.
Guy's going to be on next week's episode.
Yeah.
He's going to guest star.
Yeah, so that was a great way to start it. Like you said, I just watched March Madness for like 48 hours straight. Ate a bunch of chicken, a bunch of southern food that is very filling, just hush puppies and baked beans and mac and cheese and so much.
How many bathrooms at your cousin's house?
One that I abuse.
Oh, good. Good.
I just have water. I don't have anything in my house because I just got back at like 5 a.m. this morning. I don't have any food or liquor.
Yeah, and it's a Monday, so we're filming a day late, but we also had a lot of content that we put out last week with the Oscars, and this is very much a slower week for us coming off of that Oscars, so we did have a couple of big releases, though. One of those being Project Hail Mary. We'll talk about that here briefly, even though only one of us got to see it, and I'm going to try and be vague. But yeah, we have some other things that we can kind of rattle through. Honestly, the movie news is the aspect of today's episode that I'm most excited about because we got a saucy little Dune 3 trailer. So we'll get to that in a little bit more. But to start, like I mentioned, we did have Project Hail Mary this past week. I have talked about it a little bit in the weeks coming up just because I've been reading the book. But I've been really excited about this movie. It was in both of our most anticipated lists for 2026.
Not mine.
It wasn't?
No.
Oh, I swear I thought it was.
No.
Okay, well, I don't know anything.
I'm so excited to see it. But...
No, you're not.
Okay.
You're literally not.
If it's not in the 10, I don't care.
It does not exist. But this is coming from Phil Lord and Chris Miller, directors of just a gangbusters filmography in terms of the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, and the Lego Movie. Going into a live-action movie here again with Project Hail Mary. This is a somewhat of a space epic. It is a lengthy 2.5 hour long space adventure with Ryan Gosling at the helm with a little rock alien monster kind of helping him out along the way. Like I said, starring Ryan Gosling, also got Sandra Hüller in there. I'm going to read the synopsis just because it is very present throughout the marketing material, but it's good to know what you're getting into. This is about a science teacher played by Ryan Gosling named Ryland Grace who wakes up alone on a spaceship light years from Earth. And his memory slowly just kind of comes back to him as he figures out that he is on this one-way mission to stop this mysterious substance from killing the sun. And then he encounters Rocky, this alien that is maybe doing roughly the same thing for his planet. I had heard nothing but great things going into this movie. I'm still hearing nothing but great things coming out of this movie. I saw this movie, I believe, last Thursday or Friday. It doesn't really matter. But I've had some time to sit with it. Coming out of the theater, I was a little let down. Which I am going to say I just finished reading the book. Like maybe in a week in the lead up to seeing this movie, I finished reading the book. And I think by reading it for the first time so closely to the release of this movie, it did do me a little bit of a disservice just because it is hard to now separate the movie from the book and judge the movie on its own kind of terms, on its own merits. Because I'm just, a lot of times, whether I was trying to or not, I was comparing the movie to the book throughout the movie. I do really like the movie. I'm going to, quality-wise, I think it's a well-acted film. Ryan Gosling is so likable, so charismatic. He always is, but he's really great here. And the Rocky character is a really good foil to him. They have good chemistry. This movie is a very funny movie, which there is a lot of great humor in the book, but I do think one thing, even if I didn't know what this film was based on or wasn't familiar with the book, I would say that this film did get a little bit too jokey for me, where I'm like, we're taking away from this world-ending event that you guys are trying to kind of circumvent and get on the other side of. You're trying to solve this issue with the sun, and there's a lot of humor to be had in there, but it sometimes came at, I think, the detriment to the stakes of the film, where I'm like, aren't we, like, this is like end all be all type shit. We're really gonna joke about this and like be kind of goofy and hokey about it, but some of it does come with the interaction between Rocky and Ryland Grace, so it just kind of works naturally. This movie is 2.5 hours long. It could have been longer for me. There are times where the pacing really slow, like it's a little uneven. Like the beginning, there's a lot of kind of almost like Born Identity, trying to figure out what this character's backstory is, and as that kind of gradually gets revealed to you through some flashbacks and stuff throughout the film, I think it works for me. And coming from the book, that's how the book is structured, so I really liked that. The cast is great. Sandra Hüller is the best cast character in this entire film. In the book, Strat is such a just on top of the ball, very pointed, very like, this is the way it's going to get done. I don't give a shit. Fuck off. I'm in charge of everything, and we're saving the Earth. No, everyone answers to me, and I answer to no one. We're figuring it out. And Sandra Hüller plays Strat with that same kind of aggressive, just pointed, directed portrayal of, nope, this is, if it doesn't have anything to do with the mission, don't bother me. Don't talk to me. Like, she's so, I want to say like a dictator. Like, she's just so strong in her performance. She's so on the ball, and it worked throughout the movie. Some scenes in the movie that aren't in the book were actually some of my favorite aspects of the movie, just because they were new to me, but also I was like, wow, this karaoke scene, which I don't want to give too much away because Corey hasn't seen it, but I was like, wow, this is really impactful and moving. I do think at times, like I said, the jokes get a little bit too heavy, or a little bit too much weight to them, too much time spent on kind of the jovialness between these two characters, where I'm like, all right, let's get back to the mission. I also think, as I did watch The Martian earlier this week, they're both, Project Hail Mary and The Martian are both books from Andy Weir. I think that film handles the science of everything a little bit better. In this movie, I felt like the science sometimes got glossed over, sped up at times, where I was like, I know what happens in the book. I don't know where we're at in this movie. I don't know how we've gotten to this point. So I really do like this movie. I will say I'm a little disappointed, just because every review that I've seen going into this movie is saying it's the best movie ever. You gotta go, like, this is why movies are made, which it's a visual spectacle. It's something great to look at. The cinematographer is Greg Fraser, I think. It looks great. Has a great score. I've been listening to that at work, and the performances are all good. I just think that this film, for me, like I said, it's still hard to separate the movie and judge it on its own merits in comparison to the book. But I was a little let down. I am going to try and see it again, because I do think there's a lot of great in this movie, and it is a good viewing experience. I would recommend seeing it in theaters, seeing it on the biggest screen you could possibly find. It's a spectacle, and it's good. There's some things where I'm like, in the comparison, I'm like, in almost every way I prefer the book. And I think I doomed myself by reading the book, like I said, too close to when the release of the movie was coming out. And I'm kind of doing that with Dune Messiah, which I've already read, but Dune Part 3 will be coming out at the tail end of this year, so I'm trying to separate some more time between the calendar year of me reading the book and the movie actually coming out, but it's hard to not compare it to the book. The movie, on its own merits, from what I can separate from the book, it is still largely a really good movie, and I'd recommend seeing it.
Yeah, I have not read the book, but yeah, like you were saying, just people have been hyping up both the book and the movie for sure the past couple weeks. And having just traveled through a bunch of airports, this book was front and center at all of the airport shops, which that's a perfect type of airport on a plane reading a book, doing that sort of deal. So, I am really excited. I had planned on seeing it today, and then, like I said, I got back and I was just tired as fuck and wanted to sleep, so I did that. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, and that's a thing too, where whether it's a movie adapted from a book, or like a movie that's a remake of something, like when A Star Is Born came out. I didn't want to watch any previous versions of that. I just wanted to go in this new version and watch it. So that's kind of what I'm doing with the Dune movies as well, and this. So I definitely don't read as much as I used to. I may have forgotten how. I don't know. But I would be interested in probably reading the book after watching Project Hail Mary this week.
Yeah, I broke my own rule, because I typically, if I know a movie's coming out that's based on something similar to what you said, I will go into that new movie as that being my first experience with that story. I will try to hold off on the books, just because I want to set up that new movie that I'm excited about to have nothing but upward potential to kind of exceed my expectations, give me a new story that I'm not already immediately comparing to something that I've been exposed to prior. So I broke my rule, and I'm kind of, I think, paying the price for it a little bit, But still, the movie's great. I would go check it out. There are nitpicks that I have as a fan of the book, but it's still a really wonderful experience, and I'm excited to go check it out again. And I think, honestly, as I see it more and more, I'm going to like it and appreciate it more and more. I feel like this review has been a little bit more negative than positive. It's still like my second favorite movie from 2026. Like, I really enjoyed this movie. It's just the book is maybe one of my favorite books I've ever read. So I'm like, to try and compare those things, it's kind of hard and you get lost in the weeds a little bit. But definitely go check it out. It's worth your time. It's 2.5 hours. It flies by. I could have used like another half an hour to 45 minutes. The movie clips along. I really enjoyed it. Moving in, I did mention I rewatched The Martian in the lead up to seeing Project Hail Mary in theaters, which it's a movie I've only ever seen once. I saw it, I think, the release year. I didn't catch it in theaters, I don't think. But this is coming from director Ridley Scott, who did everything. He did Alien, he did Gladiator, he did Blade Runner, he did The Counselor, which everyone hates. He also did The Last Duel, which is an underappreciated, awesome film from the past couple of years, or COVID year, or whatever, that kind of weird era of time. But this film is also written and adapted by Drew Goddard, who did the adaptation for Project Hail Mary. This cast for this movie is insane. And it wasn't until I started the movie up and you immediately get introduced to Matt Damon's core crew in the movie. It's Jessica Chastain, you got Chiwetel Ejiofor, Kate Mara, Sebastian Stan, and everyone else filling, and Michael Pena. There's Sean Bean, Donald Glover, Mackenzie Davis, Jeff Daniels, Kristen Wiig, and this is a random thing, but just comes to mind right off the top. There's a scene where they reference Lord of the Rings, and Sean Bean is in the scene, and they're nothing is said about that, and I'm like, that's crazy. But this is an awesome survival story. This movie is basically Castaway, but he's on Mars, and you can kind of say the same thing about Project Hail Mary, except he's Castaway way out in the fucking galaxy. But this is such a good getting a man home, bring him home was all over the posters, and this movie holds up remarkably well. The visual effects are amazing. The cast is great. I love Jeff Daniels in more dramatic roles. He is so good, and he's the head of NASA at this point. He's just nope. He's trying to handle the publicity of everything. All right, we just got word that this guy that we left is alive. When do we tell his crew? When does the world find out about that? And just trying to handle the bureaucratic kind of necessary steps to letting people know specific parts of information. I was like, well, that's really interesting. And I watched the extended version, which I think is almost 240 or right around there. Again, another really well-paced sci-fi film. I love this movie. It's so likable. At the 2016 Oscars, it was nominated for 7 Oscars, one of those being Best Picture, Best Lead Actor, Best Adapted Screenplay with Drew Goddard, Best Achievement in Sound Mixing, as well as Sound Editing. That has now been condensed down into one category, which I'm really happy. Because one film would win Best Sound Editing. It's all right, well, you're probably going to get Sound Mixing. Right. It's 1-to-1. It also got nominated for Best Visual Effects, which is a standout in this film, as well as Best Production Design. This film does, to me, the science behind it so well, because I think I understood 90% of the science. There's some stuff I'm probably missing things, but it still felt attainable. I felt as someone who is not the smartest man in the world, and I know that for a fact, I felt like I could understand what Mark Watney was doing, trying to survive on Mars and colonize Mars, and basically just, hey, I'm going to make potatoes with my own shit as manure. I'm going to just figure this out. It was so fun watching this character, just who is so intelligent, figure out a way out of these kind of daunting, insurmountable odds. And I like how this film kind of wraps up. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. He gets home. He lands. But I think that there's a moment where he's teaching kind of this survivalist class to these up-and-coming astronauts, and he's like, once you're presented with a problem, you can either accept it or you can start mathing it and figuring it out and try and make one assessment and figure out one issue at a time and start building your way out of that issue or that insurmountable kind of situation. And I was just like, yep, I love this. It's such a fun movie. It's an easy rewatch. I can't wait to watch it again. I think, again, I need to rewatch Project Hail Mary. I think The Martian might be a better film and more rewatchable. They're both great. But The Martian just really shocked and surprised me. I was like, God damn, this movie's so good. Which Ridley Scott, I feel like he's kind of lost some of his luster, but I think this is maybe one of his last like upticks of like, no, I still got it. And I'm like, oh God, I miss prime Ridley Scott.
No, The Martian is sweet. I actually have read this book. I read it after I saw the movie, and I really like it too. And I think it does do a really good job of adapting it. Just like you were saying, the trial and error of everything, and just like when shit doesn't work and having to come up with another plan to do it.
On the fly, too. It's always like, oh, he's got a leak in his suit, and he's like, fuck, how do I tape? Like, just him just like so, like, pulling him up by his own bootstraps and just trying to figure it out on the fly. Or like when they launch him up into orbit and they figure out the calculations of like where the cruise ship is to try and intersect with him and grab him in space. And he's like, yeah, we're like 18 meters off course. We're not going to align. Like, it's just not going to work. And then he's like, what if I cut a hole in my suit and I fly around like Iron Man? And they're like, let's not do that. And he's like, oh, it's what's going to happen. I'm going to do it. So it's such a fun film. And it's really intense. It works really well. It builds kind of momentum super well. It's just a fun movie all around. I love The Martian.
Yeah, this is a movie that I think you could show anybody and they'll like it.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those, and I'm so glad it got nominated for a bunch of Oscars. And funny enough, like another movie it was nominated alongside with for Best Picture was The Big Short, which I think both movies do a good job of breaking down very complicated things.
Yeah.
Where this movie, it's the science and being on a different planet. That movie's the like housing crash in 2008 or whatever, but like making it accessible for a lot of people. So I love The Martian. I think it's really good. So I'm kind of, maybe might rewatch that soon, just kind of after Project Hail Mary, seeing all that. So when I was on the plane ride, before I had my whiskey and Miller Lite at 8 a.m., I started watching Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Movie we got the poster for right here. One of our favorite movies. We've talked about it a lot, but this movie's so fucking good. I was kind of scrolling through the fucking Delta screen of things.
That is a dangerous game to play because they have so many fucking options. I'm like, I'm gonna spend half the flight trying to decide, and then I'll have an hour to watch a 2-hour long movie. It's like, that's just not gonna happen.
And I can't watch a movie I've never seen on a plane
for the first time.
I can't, like, I gotta do something I've already watched, and this came on, and I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be it. Just the ultimate hangout movie. Like, I always, like, not that I forget, but it's always just like, there's not really a story. That's awesome. I love it. They're just doing stuff.
You're to hang out with these two guys. You're hanging out with your friends.
Yeah, it is just incredible. Cliff Booth and Rick Dalton are just the fucking best together.
Crying for the Mexicans. One of the best lines.
Then they're at the restaurant in the beginning with Al Pacino, and he walks in and to Rick Dalton. He's like, "Oh, is this your son?" About Brad Pitt. There's so many lines, just like, "Oh, good picture, good picture."
A
lot of killing. Yeah, Rick, it's a flamethrower.
Does it have to be that hot?
One line I'd forgotten about is when Leo's talking about the flamethrower and training with it. He's like, "Yeah, that's one crazy shit fuck dragon I had to work with there." It is just a great movie.
That and how he builds up, like, the handling of it, like he was like he went through training and he was so accomplished, and then you get the cut of him like, oh god, this is fucking hot.
Do anything about that heat?
Yeah.
Flamethrower.
So good.
It's a great movie. I'll definitely, like I said, I only watched the first half. I got to, I think, the part where Brad Pitt's having the flashback about killing his wife.
Where he's just in a trance with those goggles over his nose with the fucking...
Pops the beer.
It's him in the face.
It's like 3 flashbacks within that, because then it's the Bruce Lee fight in there too.
Which I knew a lot of people that didn't like that part. I was like, my college roommate at the time was a massive Bruce Lee fan. He was like, that wouldn't have happened. I'm like, just shut the fuck up.
It's fun.
I'm like, Bruce Lee was an egotistical bitch. Let him just get his ass beaten for once.
Yeah. Cliff Booth is a fucking legend.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So I'll definitely rewatch it in full before Adventures of Cliff Booth comes out. I could watch this movie every single week for the rest of my life and never get bored of it.
It's just so fun.
Every time I rewatch it, I'm also like, this might be my favorite Tarantino. Like, I don't know. It's so tough, because, like, Pulp Fiction, I think, is still my favorite, but this one's really creeping up there.
Yeah, it's so rewatchable, and for a movie with a runtime of, 240 something-ish, like, it shouldn't be as rewatchable, especially when there's no story, so you'd think that there'd be no momentum, the pacing would suck. No, it's just so fun to hang out with these characters that it doesn't even feel like you're watching a movie at times. It's just, I'm hanging out. And it's fighting and clawing towards the top of my Tarantino. I think Django is pretty solidified as my favorite, and Reservoir Dogs is up there, but I think this is probably in that like 3 or 4 slot too. Just I could watch this movie at any time.
I cannot wait for Adventures of Cliff Booth.
That and Dune Part 3 have the highest kind of expectations from me, so I'm really scared, but I'm like a Fincher-directed film with a script by Tarantino bringing back one of our favorite characters. I can't wait.
I don't know how that could be bad in any way. Just a little flashback to this past Monday after the Oscars and all of our coverage. After the winners were announced for live-action short film, it was a tie between 2 people exchanging saliva and the Singers. You had recommended Singers to me, so that next morning, hungover, we woke up and tossed on the Singers, which is just like a little 15-minute short on Netflix. Just some guys singing in a bar to win $100 and a beer. So good. I loved it. It's just a nice little film. My favorite character is just this guy that's chirping everybody at the bar.
You square-headed bastard.
You butt-big bastard.
You go down on your wife, you probably give her a hysterectomy, you fuck-tooth bastard.
He lives to chirp. And it's just like Midwest bar to a T, and everybody has their place. But really good. If you haven't seen that, it was really cool. So, nice to kind of just close out a little bit of the Oscar stuff. There's other movies I want to watch that were nominated that I didn't get to see, but glad that you had me check this out the morning after.
Yeah, it's a good easy watch, 15 minutes, and it just, especially from being in the Midwest, it just feels very cozy and relatable for us. So, and then we immediately went and got burgers and beer after that.
Oh, Juicy Lucy's
at the 5-8. That was
we were in rough shape.
That burger was just so fucking heavy. Like usually a good greasy burger after a night of drinking does me well. Oh my god, did that hurt. Honestly, the hams that I had with the burger was helping me. Was trying to smooth it over, but damn, that burger bent me over. That fucking sucked. It was great, but it hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great kind of Monday morning after Oscars. I did also watch, over this past weekend while I was up at my in-laws, during working out, I put it on my laptop on a treadmill, and I just watched The Rip in 2 sections, or like 2 parts, basically. This is the film that went straight to Netflix. It was directed by Joe Carnahan, who made The Grey and The A-Team and Cop Shop. Movies and action films that I really like. The Grey's not an action movie, but great movie still. This film has, again, a stacked cast with Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Stephen Yeun, Tiana Taylor, Kyle Chandler, is it Sasha Callie or Sasha Call? I don't know. Yeah. Sasha Callie, we're going to go with that. Supergirl from everyone's least favorite Flash movie. And Scott Adkins.
And the only Flash movie,
and it's got to be the worst. There's nowhere to go but up with Flash moving forward. And Scott Adkins, who I actually really appreciate. And fuck, I want him to be Batman. Maybe.
Scott Adkins?
I think he'd be good Batman.
Interesting.
I think he'd work. And I like that Ben Affleck and him play brothers in this movie, but regardless, Corey, you've seen this movie before. It's about a group of Miami cops that discover a stash of, like, I think it was $20 million in cash at this kind of rip, or at this, like, basic cartel drug drop. And they're just trying to figure out during the seizure process how to handle this, who to involve, just because they think that there's crooked cops everywhere. Once they get tipped off, there's $20 million of drug money sitting here, people are going to want their share. So it's just this tight-knit group having to count the money and figure out who they can involve in this situation. I think it's a really good, almost like throwback to 90s action films. And it's mostly contained within one location once you get to that house. And having Matt Damon and Ben Affleck on screen together, I'm just like, oh, look at these guys. Look at my friends. Look at them, hanging them out. I love the cast. It's great. I do think that there's a couple of, almost like, they hint at a heel turn that I almost really would have preferred. But then in the third act, it is revealed, oh, no, actually it was these people that are kind of the culprits and being crooked, and these are the villains of the movie. Because you don't really know who's bad throughout the majority of the film. It's hinted at. But I think overall I preferred who they were hinting at over who they ended up going with. But regardless, it was a fun action movie. I got it, like, it's an hour and 50 minutes, maybe a little bit too long, where is it you? Is it you? Who are you? And, like, there's just, sometimes I'm like, we're spending too much time, and it's getting a little muddy right now. But overall, I think it's a really good action movie. A good kind of suspense thriller. And it's got a stacked cast. So for being a straight-to-Netflix film, this movie could have gotten released in theaters, and I probably would have supported it, especially with the cast it has. But it's a really good watch. It's a fun movie. I checked with my father-in-law, because he has the ability to just pull up Netflix, look at any piece of shit movie, and be like, yep, that one. And I'm just like, whoa! It takes me like an hour to pick a movie, but he can just pick anything. So I was like, oh, if you haven't seen The Rip, you should watch The Rip. And he's like, I already saw it. I loved it. And I'm like, all right, thanks, Dan. So I would recommend it. It's a good, fun watch on Netflix. It's a great action movie. It's not like the most violent thing I've ever seen, but good mystery, good suspense, worth your time.
Perfect dad movie.
Perfect dad movie.
Yeah, I can imagine that dad would love that shit.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, that was a great movie.
Coming out this week, we have a pretty quiet release week, which I'm happy about, so I can catch up on a bunch of stuff. I still want to see Hoppers and Ready or Not 2. We'll probably talk about next week. So, and then Project Hail Mary, obviously. But the biggest one I would say is They Will Kill You, coming from Kirill Sokolov, starring Zazie Beetz, and it's about her taking a job as a housekeeper in a New York City high-rise. And the building has a lot of history of disappearances and the weird community that is kind of filled out by Tom Felton, Patricia Arquette, and Heather Graham. Mm-hmm. Looks pretty fun. Looks like a cool action movie.
Yeah.
I think could have, just...
Kind of reminds me of, like, Hotel Artemis. Did you ever see that?
I didn't, but the trailers seem
That's
similar.
That's what it feels like, yeah.
So it looks like it could be fun. Another one this week is Forbidden Fruits, which is at a mall store, Apple leads a secret witch cult with coworkers Cherry and Fig. New hire Pumpkin questions their sisterhood, forcing them to confront their inner darkness or meet violent ends. Got Lily Reinhart in this movie. I don't really know too much about this one, but maybe.
My wife is itching to see this
movie.
Okay. She's super excited. We're probably going to see this opening night just because I feel like that's going to set us up for a pretty good viewing experience because I know no one else that's excited for this movie. But the synopsis is kind of wild and it just sounds ridiculous, but it reminds me of movies like The Craft and like witchiness, like almost like Practical Magic, or there's another girl werewolf movie that I can't even remember. Something, I don't know. But this feels very akin to like a Lisa Frankenstein and Tone or Jennifer's Body, and those are the types of movies that my wife really likes. So I saw this trailer for this movie in theaters when I was seeing something else, and I was like, wow, that looks like dog shit. And then sure enough, like the next day my wife was like, I really want to see this movie. It's got Lily Reinhart, and I looked it up and I was like, oh fuck, is it the one that I saw the trailer for? And it is, but I've started to hear like pretty good reviews. I think Perry Nemiroff maybe even posted something about this, so I'm starting to get kind of like optimistic and excited to go see this. But yeah, it's gonna hopefully satisfy like that love that I have for the movies like The Craft and Lisa Frankenstein. More kind of kitschy, teen, witchy bullshit, but maybe a good little cult classic potentially. Who knows?
The last kind of maybe most interesting thing coming out this week is a movie called Alpha. Coming from Julia DeCarno, who also directed Raw and Titane, which I haven't seen those movies, but I've heard a lot of polarizing things about them. A lot of people love them, some people really hate them. But this movie is about Alpha, a 13-year-old living with her single mom, who comes home from school with a tattoo on her arm. And I'm sure...
And the world collapses. Watch the trailer. Have you seen the trailer?
No, not
Watch
yet.
the trailer. It's fucking insane. How this synopsis goes to that movie, I have no idea. Because I like Raw a lot. I think it's a pretty good little horror film. Titane, whatever. That one starts to stretch itself a little bit too thin for me. It's kind of a hard watch, and I'm like, I think that the director is just trying to be gross to be gross, and now it's not even serving a purpose. This film looks insane, and for it to have a synopsis of just a troubled 13-year-old comes home with a tattoo and her mom goes AWOL about it, like, could never have guessed what this movie was going to be about. And I would say watch the trailer, and if you get 5 seconds into the trailer and you're like, it's not for me, you're probably right. Like, I might see this movie just because I like Raw a good deal, and Titane's an interesting watch. This might also be an interesting watch, but I can't explain how unexcited I am for this movie. I'm just like, this looks rough. Yeah, it looks pretty tough. Moving into a physical media roundup, I bought a lot of shit in the wake of the Oscars. It's also really bad to hang out with Corey while I'm drinking and talking about movies, because then I start buying movies. But in the wake of Amy Madigan winning Best Supporting Actress, I bought a good steelbook of Weapons, which actually came this week, and that was really great. Amy Madigan, you're married to Ed Harris. You know what Ed Harris movie I really like? Apollo 13. So I bought a Blu-ray 4K of that. I also got maybe my biggest loss in recent memory in terms of buying movies. I had to buy One Battle After Another. It is the reigning Best Picture winner from 2026. I can't wait to rewatch this movie. But me and Corey have kind of gone back and forth, maybe more so off of recording, just talking about how there's not a great physical media release for this film. So I bought the standard Blu-ray, and then I commissioned someone to custom make a steelbook for a way too high quantity of dollars. Just a stupid amount of money I paid this guy to make me a steelbook, for Corey to then, the next day, send me, oh, hey, there's a steelbook of One Battle that just got announced. It's coming out in June. I'm like, Oh my god! So I'm going to be in the hole pretty heavily on one battle after another. But I'm excited that I will have my own special steelbook, as pissed off as that makes me. But I'll have that in my collection. I'll add my ballot from this past Oscars to that movie. I also got 2001: A Space Odyssey on 4K, just had a standard Blu-ray, and it's one of my favorite films of all time. I also got End of Watch, 4K Blu-ray Steelbook. I love that film, and the rip made me think of End of Watch, so therefore I bought End of Watch. And then I also ordered Is This Thing On 4K and Blu-ray, just because a really unsung, just like gem of a movie from last year that got no love. No one really saw it, I feel like. Great movie, and I can't wait to rewatch that movie.
I remember during the Oscars when we were talking about one battle, after it won, I was like, they'll probably do like a steelbook. They'll announce like or like a bigger like 4K Blu-ray something. And then I saw that, I'm like, oh great, yeah, like I want to get it too. But I was like, I know Mason wants to buy it pretty soon, so I was like, oh, that'll work out well for him. But
I
jumped the gun.
I spent way too much money on this one movie. Yeah,
that's great. Coming out this week, one I'm super excited about, Killers of the Flower Moon, finally coming out on Criterion. There's going to be a 4K and Blu-ray of that. I really like the cover. It's like the blue and kind of different symbols on there. It looks really sweet. I may not buy it right away, but I'll definitely wait for that 50% off sale. Hit up Barnes & Noble, snatch that up. And then a couple other things, with the History of Sound from last year, and then A Bridge Too Far is coming out on 4K, a really good war movie. Mm-hmm. And then Blackberry is getting a physical release too, a really good movie. Glenn Howerton is in it, about the making of the BlackBerry phone. Really, really solid movie. I think it's on Hulu still, but if you want to buy it on physical too.
I've never seen it. That and like the Tetris movie are two movies that I feel like I missed out on these.
They came out at like the same time. I haven't seen Tetris, but yeah, BlackBerry I highly recommend. Moving into another passing of a legend. We often have to start off the movie news section with this, but this dude is absolutely a fucking legend. Yeah. Chuck Norris passed away this past week at the age of 86. Obviously a martial arts champion, and he, kind of got his rise to fame in The Way of the Dragon, but also, I mean, Walker, Texas Ranger, I feel like is what I kind of knew him from first. Also, just like one of the, at least in my mind, one of the first like internet memes.
Oh yeah, he was the internet meme.
Yeah, it's like all the Chuck Norris jokes that you think like this dude has his own category of jokes where it's like, yeah, snake bit Chuck Norris and then it died 3 days later, and a bunch of shit like that.
That and like even in Family Guy, like underneath Chuck Norris's beard is not a chin but another fist. Yeah, like it's just shit like that. Like every element of pop culture is just in on it, that like Chuck Norris is just a badass, and I haven't seen The Way of the Dragon. Now I definitely want to go back and watch that, but I grew up with like my grandma watching Texas Ranger and being like, oh yeah, this guy, he's hot, and I'm like, interesting, him really, which like alright looking dude, but I know him the most from, which is late in his career, Expendables 2.
Of course.
When he shows up, because like these movies, that franchise is just about getting all the best action kind of all-stars into one film together. And the second one, when you get all the characters are pinned down, they're getting fired from all sides, and then all of the guns, all the tanks, everything stops firing as they just got absolutely demolished. And they're like, what happened? Hello? Who's out there? Chuck Norris just walks up. And they're like, no fucking way. And he's, Sylvester Stallone goes up to him and he says that snake. He's like, I heard that you were bitten by a king cobra. And he's like, yeah. And after 3 long, hard, painful days, the cobra died. And I'm like, what a baller fucking move. Incredible. To have him make a Chuck Norris joke in his introduction in this movie. He's great in that movie. It's weird that 2026 and the end of 2025 has really turned into just like us losing every legend every other week. It's really kind of sad that everyone is at this point in their life where they don't have many days left. So, again, he lived to be 86, so he has a good, long-lasting legacy. He had a good, long-lasting legacy at 50, to be honest. Like, this dude has a awesome, storied career. So, we get to celebrate him for years to come, and he will always be remembered and missed. But, yeah, Chuck Norris is an absolute fucking legend.
Yeah, I think maybe to sum it up, I was with my cousins in North Carolina when I saw it, and I was like, oh man, Chuck Norris died. Mm-hmm. My cousin's like, he'll be back in like 3 days. I'm like, you know what? That sums this up perfectly.
Yeah. He's just napping.
Yeah. Okay, the most exciting movie news topic of the week are the trailers. A lot of trailers came out this week. Going to start out with a couple smaller ones. Wild Horse 9 is a movie I'm really excited for. now that we're kind of out of Oscar season, this is one maybe looking forward to next season. It's a Martin McDonagh movie. John Malkovich and Sam Rockwell star in it. It's from the trailer. It's just got the quippy McDonagh writing, which I fucking love. We both love his movies a lot. 3 Billboards and Banshees of Inisherin.
7 Psychopaths.
In Bruges.
It's fantastic. In Bruges is my favorite of his movies.
Yeah, it's great. So this looks like a fun little kind of like undercover spy type thing. I forget the location that they're in, but I think it's in like the 70s maybe. I can't wait for that one, and hopefully it sticks around for award season. We also got a full trailer for the fucking live-action Moana movie.
I saw it on Instagram, and I went to the comments immediately, and the top comment was like, why does this look like an SNL skit? And I was like, yeah.
It's weird.
It's weird seeing The Rock with hair. That took me out immediately.
Just awful wig.
Yeah.
Like, and it's it's been 10 years since Moana.
And I love that first movie.
Yeah.
It's one of my go-to, like, it's a comfort movie for me. If it's raining outside or if I'm having a bad day, like Moana, oh yeah. Awesome movie. It holds up well. The music's great. The animation's fantastic. And it's still so current and, like, within pop culture. Like, my nieces still watch Moana. Like, Moana's still... We just had a sequel come out a couple of years ago.
Right.
Like, it's still big. So to get a live-action remake already feels so just... All right, you guys are just desperate for money. Like, this is ridiculous.
I don't know. The Rock just looks weird in it. Some of the other stuff looked okay, like visual effects-wise, but still, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just gonna watch the original one, and I feel like everybody else will too. Sticking in the Disney universe, we had Spider-Man Brand New Day finally dropped a fucking trailer.
Yeah.
Very weird release of the trailer, because it was like Monday that they teased little clips.
Yeah.
Released the trailer in like sections. It was like fans around the world are releasing like
8 seconds clips. Yeah.
Okay, and then it's like full trailer tomorrow. I'm like, just do it tomorrow.
Just do the fucking trailer.
Either do it today or tomorrow. Like, I don't care about these clips really. But anyways, this is a movie comes out in July, I think.
Yeah.
And people have been like, we want a trailer for the Super Bowl, didn't get that. And we've been waiting a long time. Finally got it. Also broke an all-time record, which to me was, I don't know if I buy these numbers because it's fucking insane. But the previous trailer record holder for like the first 24 hours of views was Deadpool and Wolverine that had like 320 million or something, whatever it was.
Wasn't GTA 6? That's not GTA 6 isn't a movie, but GTA 6
that
also
was
had a
up there
ton too.
Yeah, as far as movies, I think Deadpool and Wolverine had the record, and then so that was at like 320 million. Like I said, Spider-Man Brand New Day, Sony said it had 718 million. I'm like, I don't know.
How do you dwarf the previous? Like, how do you absolutely double, like, more than double the previous?
If it beat it by like 100 million, I'd be like, okay, I get it. New Spider-Man movie, that's huge. But I'm like, by fucking like 400 million?
And honestly, I hope that Sony doesn't take, like, oh, this, like, little teaser campaign of clips that we did in the lead-up is really what sold it. So we'll do this more and more. I'm so tired of the trend of doing a small teaser to introduce a teaser. Fucking stop it. That is something that could die in 2025. I don't need that carrying over into 2026. What did you think of the trailer, though?
I enjoyed it. I think I liked it more than you.
You definitely did.
Yeah, I'm down for this movie. I've always been on board with this since the end of No Way Home.
Yeah.
Of a street-level Spider-Man just taking on the Hand and Scorpion and all these other characters. Tombstone, I think, is going to show up. So I'm really excited for it. I think it's fun seeing Punisher in there. John Bernthal, obviously. You get Banner in there doing his thing, and obviously still dealing with nobody knowing who Peter Parker is. And I still like that it's carrying through. I hope they don't undo it like too quickly in this movie.
I hope they don't undo it at all.
Yeah,
I hope they leave it.
Yeah, or it would be cool if Banner obviously doesn't remember him, but Hulk does or something.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of an interesting
twist
idea
on it or something like that. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm. Granted, this is a first look. I'm really eager to see what the through line is or what the main conflict is, who the main villain is, because there are a lot of villains teased in this. I liked seeing Scorpion come back. That was cool. Yeah. That was honestly maybe one of my favorite parts of the trailer. Obviously, you get to see Frank Castle. I'm like, finally, in an MCU movie. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
My biggest thing that got me so giddy was seeing Bruce Banner as Bruce Banner. And not Smart Hulk, not some weird conglomerate, fucking goofy-ass scientific Hulk. Like, I didn't need that shit anymore. I didn't need it to begin with. Just seeing him as Bruce Banner, I was like, oh, there he is, my guy. He's back. So that made me happy. I do think this, like, I like that it is more of that grounded, like, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and kind of the in and out of New York kind of vigilantes with Frank Castle and maybe Hulk shows up, like whatever. Like, I don't understand how Daredevil isn't a part of this. Like, can Daredevil please be a part of this?
He probably will be.
I hope he is. Also, we have that coming out this week. We didn't even bring that up.
Oh, yeah, true.
Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again will be coming out, so we'll have that to look forward to. But I thought that this trailer was just so all over the place that I couldn't really get too excited about it. Granted, it is still like a first tease, like I mentioned. There are 3 images that stick out to me, and they were, I think, a part of those teaser clips of like... They're like 3-second shots that have a little bit of motion, but it's mostly like a standstill image. And I was like, these all feel like AI. Like, it looks so shitty to me. And it has, I think Boomerang was in one of them. I think Tarantula was in one of them. I don't remember him swinging in that like iconic Spider-Man pose on the comic book. And that image of him saving someone, I'm like, these all look so shoddy. Granted, they can look better in the movie if they are in the movie, but it just took me out of it. I don't want this movie just to turn into or boil down into, I need to convince Ned and MJ that I am their friend. Like, I don't want that. I'm so excited for him to be on his own, so I have a lot of faith with who's behind the camera and in the team. I've liked all the MCU Spider-Man movies a lot. It's been one of my favorite trilogies in the MCU. I just hope that we can kind of let Spider-Man be on his own a little bit. Like, let's not rush into, hey, Ned, hey, MJ, it's me again. You guys remember? You don't? I'm sorry, but, like, I was your friend. It's like, don't freak him out. Just leave him alone.
Yeah. I hope that at least we have, like, a full half of the movie that is kind of just letting him be with all the villains and stuff. You know, and I'll say the same kind of reservations I had going into Superman, where I'm like, there's a lot of fucking characters in this thing. I hope this one works better just because of that, where it's like a little mission here and there and like New York doing that. So hopefully that works better. I do love the suit though. I think the suit looks cool.
Fantastic.
Seeing it, there's very much the Amazing Spider-Man 2 opening scene when it's like rippling, and I'm like, oh, this is sweet. You get this shot like inside the mask, kind of Iron Man type thing. I'm like, this is a good looking suit, and you can tell it's real too. Like that's sweet.
I will say I don't love that shot, and I've seen other people post about it of like, how much that the suit's skin tight. How are you getting a gap between his eye and that thing? And then I saw someone comment about it. They're like, "Do you complain about sound in Star Wars and space?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm being an asshole." I'm sorry. But it originally bothered me. But I think overall, as an announcement, I'm just more happy that there is a trailer finally out for this movie. I'm like, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. I can't wait to see this movie. It's a little of a mixed bag for me, but I'm still like, I can't wait to see what the next trailer is, and I still can't wait to go see this movie opening day. So.
But maybe the biggest trailer of the
my
week.
life. Of my fucking life.
We got Dune Part 3. I guess also confirmed that that's the title. I don't know if we actually knew that before, but Dune Part 3 adapting Dune Messiah, and fuck, this trailer is badass. I mean, I haven't read Dune Messiah, you were talking about earlier, you've read it before, but just seeing Paul Atreides and like 17 years after the end of Dune 2 coming back, and seeing just the impact even from the 2 scenes where he's like on top of a cliff or something, and like Dune 2 you had a big crowd, but this one is just fucking millions of people, and you got the war chant going, Hans Zimmer's score mixed with that. You get to see Jason Momoa, he's coming back, and then you get Robert Pattinson. What is it, Seitel? Is that how you say it? Seitel, okay.
There's probably a bunch of fucking pronunciations of it, but Seitel is how I always read it. Dude,
it's just him coming into this cast. Him and Zendaya are also just in so many fucking movies together coming up here.
Yeah, her and Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, so fuck, this looks great. This trailer has me so hyped up. I've been thinking about this one a lot.
Yeah, I love all the teases that we get in this, and that conflict between Chani and Paul, and kind of also Princess Irulan. I never knew how to read it, but Florence Pugh in these movies. And to have her in a more expanded role in this film, I'm really excited about. Seeing Robert Pattinson as Seitel is my favorite thing, because Seitel is my favorite character in Dune Messiah. He's such an interesting, what is it, not face dancer, it's a face, whatever. He's a chameleon. He can face or shapeshift, change whatever he wants. But Robert Pattinson's look, I was like, how are they gonna, like, what does he look like in his kind of default state? And wow, I love the appearance. He looks freaky as fuck. I also like that we get to see a glimpse of Edric, who is he's part of the Space Guild, I believe. He's basically a fishman in a tank. He's that white kind of, basically like almost like a tomb that's levitating in with like the orange gas around the face. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. I like how that's being represented. even as someone who has read the book, I think that no matter what I think of these books and my experience with these books, I have all the confidence in the world that Denis Villeneuve, even if it's not the interpretation I'm expecting or something I'm used to, I think that his interpretation, just going off of the previous two movies, is going to be the ultimate interpretation. That's what I'm going to prefer, even off of what I previously may have thought. Denis Villeneuve killed it with Dune Part 1 and Part 2. Mm-hmm. Part 2 is my second favorite film of all time. I think it's the best film that's come out since we've been alive, even then some. So Dune Part 3, it's massively on my radar. This trailer is fantastic. It sold me on the scale. I am now rereading Dune Messiah, and I'm going to bridge that into Children of Dune, just because the way that I think in interviews and stuff, Denis Villeneuve's described what this film is going to feel like. It kind of goes against what I remember from Dune Messiah. Dune Messiah was a little bit more of a slower film, or a slower book. It wasn't really much of a war film, whereas I feel like he's described this movie as being such. So I'm curious to see if he also brings in within Dune, in Dune Part 3, if he brings Children of Dune and aspects of that story as well, because I can't say that. I don't want to spoil anything for Corey, but if you want to get the full picture of Paul Atreides, you need to tiptoe into Children of Dune. So I think that we'll get some aspects of that within this movie, and I can't fucking wait. Denis Villeneuve, you are the best working today. I have all the faith in the world that this is going to be an awesome movie.
Yeah, we're eating good with Nolan and Villeneuve releasing movies, and Spielberg. I mean, we talked about that, but this has the opportunity to be the best trilogy of all time. I mean, I know for you probably pretty easily it would be.
Very easily.
Lord of the Rings, I would say right now is mine, and it's, we'll see. I don't want to jump the gun too early, but between that and then also Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out next year or whatever, another good trilogy capper if that really sticks the landing. So, no, this movie's gonna fucking rip. I cannot wait to see this one.
I'm eager to see how they adapt certain aspects of it, because I don't think a lot of people love Dune Messiah the book as much as they love the first one. It is a little polarizing in the direction they go with some things. I'm interested to see how they adapt it, and also if you're a massive fan of the first two, are you still going to be a massive fan of Part 3? I love those posters too that they released.
Oh yeah,
all the characters, and you get Paul Atreides with the Fedaykin mask on, or the Fremen mask on, and he looks so fucking scary. I'm like, damn, Palpatine's in here, shit. So I can't fucking wait. It's gonna be so good.
Timmy is he's motivated. Lost another Oscar, and he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna give you guys some epic shit." Yeah, so you mentioned Daredevil Born Again. First episode comes out this week. Some other Marvel TV news. Wonder Man got renewed for season 2. I'm down for that. We both enjoyed the first season quite a bit.
Really surprising, actually.
Yeah, really good. And they leave it off in a place where they fly through the fucking roof, and where do they go?
Yeah, what next?
So I think obviously the main cast is coming back. Destin Daniel Cretton, I believe, is coming back as a creator again. So I'm excited for that. As far as some other Disney news, he talked about fucking, Moana sequel and all these unoriginal ideas. We're getting more. The live-action Lilo and Stitch 2 is coming out on May 26, 2028. And then Incredibles 3 was announced for June 16th, also in 2028. These movies are going to make $1 billion each, and that's why they're going to make an Incredibles 4 and then a Lilo and Stitch 3. And it's just the cycle of this fucking happening.
I'm much more excited about Incredibles 3.
Yes.
Than a follow-up to a live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch. I didn't even see the live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch. And I won't see the sequel. But I'm really excited to see Incredibles 3. After the first Incredibles, I didn't need Incredibles 2, and then it came out, and I liked it a good deal. It's not as good as the first one. It never was going to be. But I'm still I like these little installments. I'm interested to see where they go with the story here, and I believe the director is the director of Elemental coming on for Incredibles 3 too, which I'm pretty excited about. So I like that movie.
I wish they could have done these a bit quicker. Obviously, that was the big discussion with the second one, but voice cast is going to be sounded a little tough. I mean, what is it? Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter.
Lubricate his fucking veneers, his dentures before he puts them in.
You're gonna have to recast the kids again to do that. So we'll see. Last week we covered all the Oscar stuff. Just wanted to close out award season, fittingly so, with the Razzies.
The most important ones.
I don't even remember when these happened. It probably was last week or something. We just didn't talk about it.
I feel like it was before. It was probably before the Oscars.
Yeah, but fitting way to end this. But yeah, War of the Worlds, big winner. And no, not the Steven Spielberg War of the Worlds. This is the Screen Life Ice Cube one.
Oh, yeah.
One Worst Picture, Worst Actor for Ice Cube. Let's see, Worst Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel. And then Worst Director and Worst Screenplay. So it really, we talked about it happened one night and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest sweeping a bunch of big awards. Yeah, this one nearly did that. Brideheart got a Worst Actress for Rebel Wilson. And then Snow White took home a couple of awards, mainly for all 7 artificial dwarves for both Worst Supporting Actor and Worst Screen Combo, which, I can't even really argue with that because they look like shit and they're terrifying. And then, I guess a kind of nice award, the Razzie Redeemer Award. They're kind of like, hey, you were nominated for a Razzie, but now you actually did something good. Kate Hudson won for Song Sung Blue, so I don't know. Sure, why not?
When was she nominated for a Razzie? Do you know that? Like, because she was in Glass Onion. She's been in good stuff recently, so, like, for her to randomly just be like, oh, you were nominated for an Oscar, now we're just going to be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which, like, the Razzies don't have the most amount of, like, weight. They don't have any weight, to be honest. But
no.
I feel like they've been straining relevancy for so long, ever since Halle Berry showed up and actually accepted one for Catwoman or whatever it was way back when in like the 2000s. So
they're
it's like
still coasting off that.
Yeah, they're like, that was our big moment, and people still love watching us. It's like, I don't even know how to access your fucking award show.
It's just, I was just like, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Like, so Kate Hudson won. I don't know if to say won or lost Worst Actress, whatever it is.
Okay.
She won Worst Actress at the 2021 Razzies for Music. Do you remember that movie?
No.
I didn't see it, but
apparently Razzies did.
yeah, they saw it. I guess it was really bad. I don't know, but I remember like hearing that it was controversial or something. I don't know. I don't fucking remember. But anyways, they redeemed her this year. So there it is. Award season is finally closed out. We'll shut the fuck up about it now. Until next year.
Until like 7 months. Not even 7 months from now. Probably 6 months.
And
It'll probably be like September.
End of August, so September, we'll be like, all right, we're back.
Yeah, Oscars.
But yeah, just the last little few things. Kind of some casting news. A Quiet Place Part 3, which John Krasinski's coming back to direct that movie. Obviously, we had Emily Blunt and Cillian Murphy coming back. Along with Millicent Simmons and Noah Jupe. But then we are adding in Jack O'Connell, Jason Clarke, Katie O'Brien. That's a great cast, filling that out. Just after Peaky Blinders, Cillian Murphy, just obviously he was in number 2, but just seeing him come back is great. Coming out next year, July 30th. Can't wait for that movie. It's been a very consistent franchise. All 3 of them have been really good.
Yeah, and I didn't really have a lot of expectations for Quiet Place Day 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I fucking loved that movie.
Great.
I thought it was fantastic, so I can't wait. I'm so excited. I was really worried how long it was going to be until we finally got this 3rd installment, just because the second one, they do a good job at ending on cliffhangers in this franchise, and I'm like, oh my god, when the fuck are we going to pay this off? Yeah. So I'm happy that we have a date now, so that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm glad that John Krasinski could fit in between both Quiet Place 2 and 3.
Very
I guess.
necessary, as I still haven't seen that movie.
Yeah, it's not anything special.
Oh.
It's okay. It's whatever. The Last of Us Season 3, just a little casting news. Jason Ritter and Patrick Wilson joining the cast. I'm excited. Cool.
Yeah.
I think we both like Season 2 more than most people, so I'm excited for that 3rd season. Tom Cruise is maybe in talks to play a villain in the Miami Vice movie with recent Oscar winner Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler. Joseph Kosinski's directing it, so I guess it'll maybe be nominated for Best Picture. Who knows? The last couple movies have been. But that'd be sweet. I mean, he's a great villain in Collateral, and I like when he does anything like that, or like Tropic Thunder. That's just like so different, and maybe even Digger too. We'll see like what kind of different role that is.
I have no idea what the fuck that is.
Like, cool. I like that. Kirsten Dunst joining the cast of The Housemaid 2, along with Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried. That's great. I forget what the actual title of the book is.
Housemaid's Secret.
Housemaid's Secret. So that looks sweet. Also, I just wanted to shout out Sonic 4. There was some casting news. Ben Kingsley and Nick Offerman joined the universe, and that is exciting
and
stuff.
Jim Carrey's coming back again, potentially.
I love
as
that.
Robotnik.
I love that he's retired, but not for these movies.
I saw someone respond on a post. They're like, "This is the funniest thing in the world. That only for Sonic does Jim Carrey come back out of retirement to act." Which, like, he's fantastic as Robotnik. Sonic 3, like, honestly, the franchise has gotten better and better for me. Which I had no expectations for any of these Sonic movies, and then they're just a good popcorn fun. Like, go check them out in theaters. Like, watch with a group. But yeah, I'm excited for Sonic 4. I will not pay attention to it until the week of its release, probably, as that's how I've treated every other one of these films, aside from when they initially released the first trailer for Sonic, and they're like, hey, these effects look great, don't they? And then we're like, no! What is that? Why does he have teeth like that? Oh my god, he's horrifying.
It's gonna bite me.
He's disgusting.
Ew.
But anyways, thank you for joining us for another episode of Slate Night, the Film Fan Podcast, potentially one of our shortest episodes. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more in-depth movie reviews and movie news. And check back next week where we kind of hopefully unpack a lot of viewings from the leftovers of this start to this year and catch up on maybe a rewatch of Project Hail Mary for me, a first-time watch for Corey, and dive into a couple more of the more exciting, smaller releases that we have coming up as well. In film, it's not just about what's on screen, it's about who's next to you in the theater.
For Mason and I at Slate Night, that's a wrap.